Hello students, this is a revision of Colonialist Criticism by Chinua Achebe. Chinua Achebe's essay Colonialist Criticism was first delivered at the Commonwealth Literature Conference in the year 1974. On that occasion, Achebe argued that African literature and society demand a range of knowledge and sensitivity that the European critic has no right to presume. Achebe observed in his essay, "Where the angels fear to tread," I quote, "no man can understand another whose language he does not speak." By language, Achebe does not mean the use of English language. He means the understanding of the physical and psychical processes which operate in a given mind and society. The essay Colonialist Criticism is an attack on the lingering colonial attitude of the non-African critics towards African literature. Colonialist criticism is based on the assumption that the African writer is somewhat unfinished European. Achebe opposes the European colonial prejudice. While judging, colonialist critics always adhere to Big Brother consciousness. They create binaries like white and black or European and African. They think that Europeans are superior, big brothers, whereas Africans are inferior, younger brothers. Europeans are teachers and Africans are learners. Therefore, Europeans are at the center and Africans are at the margin. Achebe argues that African literature should not be compared and judged with the canonical standards, since African literature has its own peculiarity and particularity. The Europeans do not know the intricacies of African history. So, Achebe's claim is that colonialized blacks should write their own history, neglecting what has already been universalized. He argues, I quote, "If the text is judged from European perspective, a text does not get right evaluation and the essence of the text is killed," unquote. The term universalism is exclusive. It includes the whole world. The term universalism refers to European parochialism. European writers always emphasized universality in their writing. They believe that the writer has to cover all issues in general, or the writer has to speak for all. They judge African text from this angle. They argue that African text is not universal because it does not speak about universal issue. It speaks only African voice. Therefore, their text is invalid. They are not able to write about the whole universe. The two problems of universalism, according to Achebe, are: first one, that the presumed universality that the critics find is merely a synonym for the narrow self-serving parochialism of Europe. Second, that every literature must speak of a particular place, evolve out of the necessities of its history, past and current, and the aspirations and destinies of its people. It means that every text comes out of specific time, space, and people. Therefore, every text is space specific and people specific. African people have the experience about racism. Therefore, they can write about racism deliberately. African might have made many mistakes, but they did not bring racism to the world. Therefore, they would write about African specific situation. Achibe sustained the idea that the term universalism must be banned. African writers writing in English need not follow European model. Language is not the property or possession of any group, country or continent. Language is common property of all. African writers are writing in English to make themselves heard. If they write in African language, nobody will know about them. Towards the end of the essay, Achibe criticizes the native writers. All the time, European writers cannot be slammed as deplorable. He says even the native writers haven't done anything to uplift the condition of African literature. They are not responsible for their own people. He embodies the idea that earnestness is most important to uplift the condition of African literature. Only then African literature will get the prestigious status, otherwise, they will be dominated. For the domination of Europeans, Achibe gives the term seduction. The native poets and critics are equally responsible for this seduction because they never attempt to break this barricade of European canon. Rather, they enjoy being an appendage to it.